Khalt pesia pisen skelig pisen gelagt pisten medlis pisen kusig pisigult Letja est systems each SKC netja skelig es hui et chen es squished for me isha memes would next for me would at least would na east es system SJ me yet khwa isha put ti khlos pani shetle es squished for me sleep. Quick as me as beams. Lut shet. Washe luas she. Shell et schotla poe. Unechs schasselks. Klucheme ench beams. Good day to all my fellow tribesmen, my friends, my relatives, my siblings, and my children. It is now the fall season. It is called S'cha'e. S'cha'e. A long time ago, the people would go to different places to go hunting for their meat for the winter. They would camp at different places, sometimes for several weeks, until they figured they got enough meat that would last them through the winter. And nowadays, as soon as it's the 1st of September, the hunters go hunting for real. They get their four-wheel drive rigs ready and make sure they have all their shells, and then they go out and a lot of people don't camp when they go hunting, but some do. And they hunt for the bull elk, which is one of the first ones you see in the backs of people's rigs. Then the deer and the moose is also a popular animal to hunt. One of the things that has been said at the Culture Committee is to caution people that when you go hunting, you go hunting because there's a need for the meat, for your sustenance. And to go hunting for sport is not quite the best thing to do. That's the old way of thinking, and could be a good way to think nowadays. Okay, fall is called S'cha'e. 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 T'amishlus ank. The summer is gone. Okay, this month, the month of October, is called S'chlippsp'ani. S'chlippsp'ani. That's the hunting month. S'chlippsp'ani. Just to remind you of the days of the week in Salish, Sunday through Saturday. S'cha'te. S'cha'te. S'chwe. S'chwe. Ti'uchlasala. Tichlasala, or Etlasala, Etlasala, Chatla, Chatla, Tichlmo, Tichlmo, or Elmo, Elmo, Zilchsta, Zilchsta, Stle, Stle, Sleepspani, the month of October. Sleepspani, the hunting month. Tshet, Tshet, the bull elk. Tshet, Sneh, Sneh, cow elk, or any elk in general. Sneh. Tshet, Tshet, bull elk. Tshet, Sneh, Sneh, cow elk. Sneh. Remember, an E at the end of the word of a word is not silent. It is voiced also. An E is always a. Sneh. Squatle. Squatle. The Whitetail Buck. Squatle. Tsu'u. Tsu'u. The Whitetail Doe. Tsu'u. Or whitetail in general is called tsu'udlich. Tsu'udlich. Squatle. Squatle. Whitetail buck. Squatle. Tsu'u. Tsu'u. Whitetail doe. Tsu'u. Or the whitetail in general. Tsu'udlich. Tsu'udlich. Puwa. Puwa. The blacktail or the mule deer. The older people call them blacktail. The younger generation calls them mule deer. Puwa. And when you see a herd of them, they are called stultze. Stultze. Puwa. Stultze. Puwa. Puwa. Blacktail or mule deer buck. Puwe. Stulte. Stulte. The blacktail or the mule deer in general. Stulte. Schaselks. 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 The moose. Both genders are called schaselks. Schaselks. The moose. We'll just go over them one more time. Tshet. Tshet. The bull elk. Tshet. Sneh. Sneh. Cow elk. Sneh. Or elk in general. Sneh. Tshet. Sneh. Swatla. Swatla. Whitetail buck. Swatla. Tsu'u. Tsu'u. Whitetail doe. Tsu'u. And the whitetail population in general, tsu'udlihu. Tsu'udlihu. Swatla. Tsu'u. Tsu'udlihu. Puwe. Puwe. The blacktail or the mule deer buck. Puwe. And the mule deer or the blacktail population in general is called stulte. Stulte. Stulte have long ears, and that's what the present day mule and donkeys are named after. In Salish we call the mules and the donkeys stulte because they have long ears. Puwe. Stulte. Schaselks. 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 Moose. Both genders are called schaselks. 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 And the month of October, Shlipspkani. Shlipspkani. The hunting month. Shlipspkani. I'd like to take a little break here. We'll be right back.
Green power. Do you understand it? It comes from our Earth's forces to generate future energy. The coming generations will either reap the benefits or pay the price for decisions made today. Are you willing to invest for the future? Only $3, $5, or $7 per month makes a huge difference for our children. Call 883-7900 for information. We'll leave a legacy. It's up to all of us what that legacy will be.
We will review from the last taping the towns and some of the signs on the highway between Post Creek and Arley. Sinjetleman. That's the St. Ignatius area. Sinjetleman. A place where something was surrounded. Sinjetleman. And Sintje, that's what people call St. Ignatius also. Sintje. Sinjetleman in Shietkus. Sinjetleman in Shietkus. That's Mission Creek. Sinjetleman in Shietkus. When you go over Mission Creek, this sign is on there. A little bit further to the south of Mission Creek, there's a little sign that says Sinjetleman Eslam Ops. Sinjetleman Eslam Ops. That means St. Ignatius, or a little stream near St. Ignatius. Sinjetleman Eslam Ops. Probably better known as Sabine Creek. Sinjetleman Umkomokos. Sinjetleman Umkomokos. That's the mountains. When you're coming north, when you reach the top of Valley Hill, there's a sign that says Sinjetleman Umkomokos. That's Mission Mountains. Sinjetleman Umkomokos. Then you come further north. Chukane. That's the Pistol Creek area. Chukane. There's a sign coming up Valley Hill, and just before you go down, it's called Intlahwench. Intlahwench. That's the Bison Range. That's the River Valley area. It literally means when you get down to the bottom of the hill and reach the water. And this one is in Tlahwench, the Bison Range area. And then when you get to the bridge over the Jocko River near Arley in Seulkus. That's the Jocko River. This sign is over the on Jocko Bridge also. It's a little different the way I have it than it is on the bridge, but it means a little hollow between a couple of hills. Coming back north, oh, just before that, on Shaw Flats, it's called Nulu-la-Mace. Nulu-la-Mace. That's what the Salish people called, I believe it's Ed Shaw. Nulu-la-Mace, because of his, it literally means iron teeth, or iron in his mouth. And on Spring Creek, just between Shaw Flats and Ravalli is the creek there, Spring Creek. The sign there says Aushi in Shietkus. Aushi in Shietkus. The actual Spring Creek, the spring where this water comes from, used to be near some people's place. Their name was Aushi. So that's what it was named after. Okay, coming back north, the Pablo area is called Huayilksa. Huayilksa. The translation we've been given is that it's a line of trees. Huayilksa. And Salu is Charlo. Salu, Charlo. When you get down to the bottom of Polson Hill, you see in Chimkane. In Chimkane. The translation there doesn't tell the whole thing. It says teepee poles above the water. It's talking about the end of the Polson Lake, where it goes out into the river. It's kind of like a triangle there, and that's what they were talking about. The looks like the tops of teepee poles. And Ronan, Otskaetku. Otskaetku, that's what you call an actual spring where water comes out. Otskaetku. And Ronan is actually called Otskae. Otskae. In Skark is Arlie. In Skark, it's talking about a long time ago there was an area of wide trees. These trees were really wide. In Skark. And so Arlie has been known to be called Inska. Inska. Then we go to the west. Schili. Schili. That's the town of Dixon. It doesn't mean Dixon. Before you get to Dixon, there's a place there where the Jocko and meets up with the Flathead River. And when that happens, it's called Schilip. Schilip. So Dixon is called Schili. Nayaik. Nayaik actually means the hot springs. Hot springs. Nayaik. Okay, that's all the time. Well, that's all that I have for you today. Keep on practicing. If you have any questions, call me at the Longhouse. I'll be glad to talk with you and help you with the language. That's my job. So until we see each other, Nemshek etluchtoe, net episte, lemlunch, gestscharcha.